Here's the harsh truth. You don't get through hours on a treadmill or hundreds of kilometers on foot just because you are physically fit. It's not about how strong your body is, but more about where your mind is at. Because from experience, the real battle that takes place when your brain starts telling you to stop. Unfortunately, most people, this is where they quit. But believe me, it's also where the real magic happens.
Hey everyone, I'm Steve, ultra runner, explorer, and someone who turned pain into purpose. Through these short videos and runs, I will be sharing the highs, lows, why I do these runs, and how I get through one crazy challenge after the other.
One of the most powerful things that I've learned is that our bodies listen to our minds more than we actually think. Example, when I ran across Thailand, 748 kilometers over 9 days, I started each and every morning by saying things out loud, such as, I'm feeling great, never felt better. Legs feel great, energy is high, we are closing in on our final destination. And even on days when I wasn't feeling great or when I was in pain, my body started to follow what my mind was repeating. So it's kind of like a mental trick, but believe me, it actually does work. It's just about convincing yourself of the life you want to live. And let's be honest, most of the times the pain wouldn't be as bad as we actually think. It's just our body's way of trying to negotiate with us, trying to tell us to stop. But this really doesn't mean that we should. The darkest moments normally happen when your why isn't loud enough. Back in 2023, on my second attempt to run across Sicily, 343 kilometers over 70 hours. Over the last 100 kilometers, I was in complete agony. My feet felt like they were literally on fire. Not only with every step I was taking, but even when I wasn't standing, the pain was excruciating. But what was more painful was the thought of stopping. And this became my why over the last 100 kilometers. The year before I had failed this run. So the thought of that happening again was extremely scary, and I was not going to let that happen, one burning step at a time. I also stay mentally engaged by soaking in my surroundings. I know that a lot of people say they tend to zone out, but rather than zoning out, I try to tune in, the noise, the streets, nature, people, all of that makes it less about running and more about being. If you're thinking about doing something hard and your mind is stuck in overthinking, just go do it. Seriously, I didn't manage my first multi-day run attempt, and I'm glad I didn't, because in that failed attempt, I learned so much more about myself than I would have from a perfect run. And you are never going to feel 100% ready. No matter how prepared you think you are, you're always going to find this excuse or that excuse. So just throw yourself in it. The real magic happens when you start to figure it out as you go along. And we are done. So if you are looking, to push your limits, whether in life or running, I hope you got something out of this. If yes, please like, subscribe, and in the comments, let me know what kind of tricks you use to get through things when they get tough. I would really love to hear them. I will see you at the next one. Thanks for joining me on this run. Let's go!